Is Dr. Keith Fairclough back with another live stream. I know it's a little bit later. I do apologize, guys. I was going to do one earlier, but time got away from me and I had to hop into sessions. And for this topic, I wanted to make sure I had enough time. I didn't want to cut you guys off because I think it's really, really, really important. And and especially again, we'll get into it. I'll express to you why, because we have talked about it before, right? And this is specifically talking about one of the greatest needs, if not the greatest need that we as men have, and how it's exploited and how we can recognize the exploitation and then get the need met in a healthy way. Right? So before we go any further, right? So what I'm going to do is to springboard this conversation, I'm going to play a clip, right? I was scrolling through YouTube this morning and I follow Caleb Hammer. And if you're familiar with Caleb Hammer, he's a finance guy, does I think it's the Hammer Audit, I think it's called. And granted, he's not going into depth on this topic, right? It just came across, I saw it, and then as I saw it, it really it kind of sparked me to think about this topic, right? And I think it's really important for us as men to understand this topic and what happens, because there are some guys that are stuck in that trap of looking at OnlyFans and things of that nature, right? And again, I'm going to explain why you might be stuck in that trap and how you can actually get out of it. So I'm about to play this clip. I'm going to share it. And so the clip contains Cody Sanchez. If you're familiar with Cody Sanchez, she's the Main Street Millionaire, wrote the book, and she does like a business thing. So they're just doing an interview. She's interviewing him and they're talking, right? And they're talking about things that people waste money on. And this is the topic that came up. So I'm going to share it. This is my first time like sharing a video. So it should turn out right. I think I practiced it a little bit beforehand. So just give me a moment. I'm going to share the clip and then it'll only be about a couple of seconds, maybe about 10 to 15 seconds. And then we will we'll kind of go into it from there. All right. So I'm going to be quiet. Y'all listen, and then we'll go from there. Actually, let me make sure that it's also sharing the sound too. Because sometimes if you don't do it the right way, it won't share the sound. Hopefully it'll share the sound. If not, you could see that says never spend money on this. You see Caleb Hammer, everything like that. So I'm going to play it and then we'll go from there.
What do you think about OnlyFans subscriptions?
I don't understand paying for it. And what scares me is the people paying to chat. Because they're paying to chat to an Indian.
All right. Let's just stop there, right? I'm going to stop there. Because I do talk a little bit more about it, but for our purposes here, let me stop sharing. For our purposes tonight, that's essentially all we really need. That's all we really need, right? So she asked the question, what do you think about, OnlyFans subscriptions? And he said, it doesn't make any sense, right? I guess he actually goes on a little bit more to talk about it because there's an epidemic, of loneliness. And then he goes on to talk about, where there's like, there's this stuff out there for free. And, you could see, breasts and butts. You could see that stuff for free. So I don't understand why people pay for it. And that's the part that sparked it for me. That's the part where I was thinking, I'm like, you don't understand, right? You don't understand, right? About what they're actually selling. They're not selling pictures and videos and things like that. Yes, I know you get pictures and videos and things like that. That's not what they're selling. They're not selling the ability to chat. That's not what they're selling. Anyone who's in sales know you don't sell the product. You sell what the product is supposed to do, right? So they're not selling that. Right? Because if they were selling that, if that was their main thing, it's like, oh yeah, pictures of naked women and videos of naked women. If they were selling that, then their business model would fail completely and totally would fail, because they're not going to be able to stand up to the juggernauts that are out there, the other sites that are out there. And I'm not going to name them because I'm not trying to promote that stuff, but I'm just saying their business model would fail because they already have people out there that are giving all that stuff away for free and then some. So you have to ask yourself the question, how are they so successful? How are they raking in millions and millions and millions of dollars a day, a month, billions a year? How are they doing that? Because the thing that, what he was saying, oh, you're paying for these pictures, and that's not what they're selling. That's not what they're selling. They're selling the same thing that's been sold for years and years and years, and it's not sex. It's not what's being sold. I'm going to tell you exactly what's being sold. Desire. What they're selling is the dream to men that you are going to be desired. The messages that they go back and forth, it's, oh, you're so hot. I want you. I want to be with you. You're so this. You're so that. Oh my gosh. The same thing the prostitutes do, the same thing call girls do, thirst trap accounts do, all that, the same thing. It's the exact same model. They're not selling sex. They're not selling pictures. They're not selling videos. They're selling desire. That's what they're selling. Think about it. The one thing we as men want is to be desired. That's the one thing we want. All the effort we're willing to work and slave and go without for just for the opportunity to be desired. For someone to say, I want you. Right? I remember I was watching this video of this, there was this ex-call girl, and she was talking about her customers. And I guess she must have been like really, really, really good. Like really, really, really good. Right. And I think now she's like, as crazy as it sounds. I think now she's actually like a relationship coach trying to teach women how to, desire their men, right? So, which the reason why I laugh is because her entire career, she was actually helping men cheat on their wives. But in any case, I guess anyone can turn around and, and do something new, right? So, but she was talking about, she's saying she was extremely successful. And it wasn't because of her looks. She looked all right. She looked all right. Looked like she had a body or whatever. At least I think she was sitting down or whatever. But she said that's not what did it for her customers. That's not what kept those guys coming back over and over and over and over again. That's not what did it. You know what did it? Those guys felt desired. What was she doing? She was telling them how great they are. She was listening to them. She was empathizing with them. She was pouring into them. They knew it was. Listen, and that's the crazy part about it, right? For those guys she was dealing with, for guys that deal with prostitutes, for guys who go to strip clubs, for guys that buy OnlyFans subscriptions. That's the crazy part. Logically, we know it's not real. We know we're not really being desired. We know the things they're saying it's not factually true. They don't really want you. They're not really pleased with you. They're not really connected to you. But this is how bad things are for a lot of us as men. It's so bad that we're willing to spend money on what's fake, and we know it's fake, just to get some semblance of feeling desired. Those guys kept going back to that woman over and over and over and over again for some semblance. And they were spending thousands of dollars so they could feel desired. These guys, they get these OnlyFans subscriptions and they pay money, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and many of them on the same girl with the same thought that maybe one day, hopefully, if I outspend everybody else, maybe she'll finally, this will finally make it a thing. She'll finally desire me and only me. It's not real. Matter of fact, though, anyone who's out there who's you have an OnlyFans subscription, and I hate to burst your bubble, but like you're not talking to the actual girl. That's not really her. She doesn't even know you. And also keep this in mind. And I know I'm trying to burst in a lot of people's bubbles or whatnot, but keep this in mind. Women don't even open up like that until they feel safe and secure. You have zero relationship, zero, with any of those women on that platform, with anybody in the strip club, with anyone you pick up on the street or any call girl you get through some type of service, right? You have no relationship with them. None. Nothing to make them feel secure. Nothing to make them feel safe. And I'm not just talking about money, because some of you got money and you want to cash them out. That's not what does it. That's like, yes. So she will tell you whatever you want to hear. You want to hear, oh, you're the best, you're the greatest, you're so this, you're so that. Oh my gosh, you're so. You think if you're cashing any of them out, that they're gonna say like, oh no, you're ugly, or I'm not emotionally safe, so I'm not gonna. No, they're in it for the money. That's why they do it. They're in it for the money. So I say all this to say that's how bad things are. That's how much of a struggle it is out there. Because we as men just want to be desired. We want someone to want us, right? And unfortunately, not just in relationships, but just even a lot of times across the board, a lot of guys feel like you're just being used. Like no one really wants you. They just want to use you and then kind of throw you away. And that's the real epidemic. That's the real problem, is that there's so many men out there that just do not feel desired at all within themselves. Right? They're thinking that no one desires them. Sometimes there's cases where people do desire you, but because of your mindset, you can't even receive it. There are cases like that. There are absolutely cases like that. But there's also a lot of cases where you are going without. You are sacrificing yourself. You're trying, you're pouring, you're doing all these things, and it still feels like no one really wants you. Or they'll want you when you can do something for them, but outside of that, it's nothing. Or you experience rejection, or you get turned down by your wife, or the kids don't want to spend time, or whatever it might be, right? And I know there might be other factors involved, right? I know there might be other factors involved, but I'm just saying this is an issue that a lot of us as men struggle with, and that's feeling desired, but still trying to show up and do what we can do. I remember one time I was working with a client, and he was telling me he has a friend, and his friend was telling him like, as men, we have to lead while we bleed, right? Essentially, you have to go without. You have to be injured, and nothing matters as far as outside of that. Like you just got to keep doing your job regardless, whether you're desired or not, whether people love you or not, whether people want you or not. You still got to keep pushing forward, you know. And so even that mindset, it's so sad that there's so many of us men out there that have that same issue, that same problem, that same hurt, where it's like, dang, I nobody wants me around. And we wonder why some of these guys, unfortunately, don't want to stick around, right? And that's just because I don't know what these platforms allow me to say. So, you know what I mean by that, right? It becomes too much. How much rejection and hurt and loneliness and abandonment, how much can one take before you finally say enough is enough, man? It's just better for me not to be here. So going back to some of them are, well, shoot, at least, right? Even if it is fake, they're willing to believe the lie because maybe that's what's keeping them around. Somebody wants me. Somebody has use for me. Somebody desires me. And so this is what we're really experiencing. So if you ever been one of those guys or one of those women that's, talked about the guys that gets like OnlyFans subscriptions and things like that, I want you to remember what I'm saying right now. It's not about that. Don't call them stupid. Don't call them dumb. Oh my gosh, how do you do? No, don't do that. There's a reason behind why people do what they do. There's an absolute reason behind it. And the reason here is because I just want to be desired. How sad is that? How sad is that? That they turn to that. There's men that turn to that, knowing that it's not real, just because they want to feel something, even if it's for a little bit. It's no different than drugs. Right? It's no different than drugs. You just want to numb the pain for a little bit or feel something for a little bit. You know it's not real. You know it's not going to last. You keep chasing it, but it's just an escape for a little bit. That's the same situation, right? The same exact situation. And there's probably other scenarios and things like that as well, but you get the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that this is a real issue. This is a really, really big issue. However, I don't like bringing up issues without being able to bring up solutions, right? Because if we have a problem and we just talk about the problem, that's when, quick side note, pet peeve of mine, right? I hate webinars. I absolutely, with the utmost passion, hate webinars. And I'm going to tell you why. I understand. Listen, and I get it. I talk to marketers. I talk to salespeople. I get what webinars are for. I understand. Yes, you got to talk about the problem and 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 talk about the problem. And then at the very end, and we have a solution, you just got to pay for it. I'm like, bruh, you could have saved me a whole hour, bruh. You could have saved me a whole hour. In any case, I digress. The point I'm trying to make is I'm going to tell you the healthier ways for as you as a man, or if you're a woman and you have a man in your life, or whether maybe it's your father, maybe it's your brother, maybe it's your husband, maybe it's your cousin, maybe it's your son, whoever it is that might be experiencing this, might be experiencing the feeling of I'm not enough, or nobody wants me, or no one cares about me, or no one desires me. If you have somebody in your life, you heard them say any of those things or some type of variation of those things, these solutions are going to be for him, right? Please share that with him. It could save his life, literally. It's not an exaggeration. All right. So the first thing is first, right? Healthier ways for us as men to be desired without having to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on some girl we don't know online who's not really her online, right? Right. The first thing you need to do is you have to know and protect your self-worth. I'm going to say it one more time. You have to know and protect your self-worth. I don't know where it comes from, but there's that saying that says, know thyself. You have to know that I am worthy of love. I'm worthy of respect. I'm worthy of proper treatment. A lot of times we as men are staying in situations and jobs and relationships where we're not appreciated, where we are torn down, where we are used. And we believe that lie. Like I said, believe while you believe. We believe that lie that we have to sacrifice ourselves. Like we don't deserve to be loved. We don't deserve to be happy. We have to earn that. We have to work for that. That's where our value, we have to look for that external validation. I'm telling you, you got to cut that off right now. You, sir, have to make sure you know your worth and value. You have to know that I'm worthy of proper treatment. I'm worthy of being talked to the right way. I'm worthy of being treated the way I want to be treated. I'm worthy of being desired. These are my traits. These are my qualities. This is what I bring to the table. This is who I am. And if people aren't going to treat me the right way, right? But here's the thing. You got to set the boundaries up so people can do that. Your boundaries teach people how you want to be treated. If you're not setting up boundaries, if you don't know your worth and value, and you don't set boundaries up around yourself, then you're going to get treated any kind of way. And you're going to feel rejected. You're going to feel like nobody wants you. You're going to feel undesired. You're going to feel unloved. And here's the crazy part. It may not be because the people in your circle don't love you, don't care about you, don't respect you. It may simply be because you haven't set your boundaries. They don't know what they are. So they're just operating what works for them, what makes them feel loved, them feel respected, them feel heard. They're just doing that. So you have to make sure you know your worth and set boundaries to protect your worth. That's critical. First step, if you really want to be desired. And that's quick side note, and we'll get to the bonus. There's a bonus one at the end about relationships, but I'm going to give you this actual tidbit as well. Women hate guys they can run over. I'm going to say it one more time. Women do not, they can't stand. It gives them the ick. It does not turn them on. It dries them up if they can run over their man. Because the guy, if she can do that to you, then anybody else can, and she's not safe, right? And guys who do not know their worth and their value, men, if we don't set boundaries, that's exactly what happens. She starts getting loud. She starts talking crazy, and you sit there and take it. And then on top of that, then she gets herself together and comes back and wants to act like nothing happened, and you allow it. You don't hold her feet to the fire. She out here coming up to you like, oh, let me give you a kiss. Pause. Nah, did you hear what you just called me? Did you see what you just did? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way. No. Until I get a full apology, like a legitimate apology, then no, we're not. No, we're not even. No, please, no. That's a boundary. That's a boundary that says I'm not going to allow you to treat me any kind of way. And if you happen to slip up and make a mistake, people make mistakes, right? You have to come back and own that and change that behavior. But I'm not going to keep going in these same circles. That's what happens when you know your worth and your value. And if she's tripping and like, oh, well, who are you think you, all that stuff like that, then guess what? You'd be like, listen, I'm not pressed. You can go. You can go or I can go. I'm not pressed about it. I'm going to keep it moving because I know my value and I know my worth. If I was in a podcast, I think it was yesterday, with my friend, and we were talking about that. If I know my value, let's say I have a gold bar. I have a gold bar, and this person that I'm dealing with, they don't know the value of my gold bar, right? So let's say they're talking reckless or whatever the case may be, and I say, listen, I know what I got. So I'm not worried about what you do or don't do, because I know what I got. I know my value. I know my worth. They may not, but I'm going to go on, because guess what? I'm going to find somebody. This actually leads into the next thing. I'm going to find someone who does respect my worth and does respect my value. And I'm not going to be pressed about what I lose on the other side, because listen, when you have your boundaries, this is critical. When you have your boundaries and you establish them, you cannot lose. You cannot lose if you do it the right way. So having a boundary doesn't mean I'm cutting someone off immediately, right? But we're not going to talk about all that. That's a whole topic in and of itself. But I'm telling you right now, once you know your worth and your value, once you have your standards and beliefs that you stand on, 10 toes down, and you teach and enforce, you cannot lose, period. Here's why you can't lose. One, if people don't want to respect your boundaries, you don't need them in your life. You can keep them at arm's length. You can keep those conversations short. You can keep those interactions short. They have to be there. That's a win for me. If they respect my boundaries, I have a great relationship. They can come in. We can commune. We can break bread. That's a win for me. Where's the loss? There's no loss when it comes to establishing, teaching, and enforcing our boundaries. Because you might think, oh, I'm going to lose these people. I'm going to lose these people. I'm going to lose these people. That's addition by subtraction. They can go. My life gets better when I have less stress in it, less drama in it. If I'm dealing with someone who doesn't know how to communicate, guess what? I don't really got to talk to them like that. Guess what that saves me? Time, energy, effort, all these things, all blessings. I'm not pressed. But if they want to get right and learn how to communicate, and guess what? They can come in and we can commune and break bread and talk and get close. And you can't lose when you set your boundaries. So just like if I have my gold bar and I go somewhere else where people will value it and we can do something with it, then I win. Because now I'm not with that person over there who doesn't know the value, and I'm with other people that do. And so that leads to the second point. If you want to make sure, men, that you are in a space where you are desired, then it means you need to get around people who desire you. Get around people who love you. Get around people who care about you. Get around people you can be vulnerable with. Get around people who are safe. Get around people that want to pour into you. Get those people around you. Keep them around you. You have a best friend you haven't talked to in a while, start calling him and talking to him. Reestablish that connection, right? Start doing that. Start building that network, building that circle of people who want to be around you. And let me also share this as well. This is also why it's a blessing to make sure you have boundaries, because the boundaries is going to help you build that network. So now you can start pulling in. It's not going to be everybody, but it's going to be one here. Maybe you come in one tier. Maybe you come in another tier. And maybe this person over here, maybe you come in all the way, right? But you start building that network of people who want to be around you. People who are going to call you like, hey, man, we're planning on going on a trip. You want to come? People that are saying, hey, man, what do you got going on for this weekend, man? Hey, let me swing by your house. Get those people around you. They're going to text and check up on you. You can talk to them about your marriage. Get those people around you. Get those people around you, right? Because if you get those people around you, guess what? You're never, ever, ever going to have to worry about feeling desired, because these people desire you. They appreciate you. They have gratitude towards you, right? So make sure you keep those people around you. And for the third one, the third one, right? Add value to others. add value to others. But specifically, when I wrote that one down, specifically while you're walking in your purpose, while you're walking in your passion, make sure you are adding value to others. I mean, if you're walking in your purpose and your passion, and you're really, really doing it, then yeah, you're already gonna be adding value to others. That's gonna make people want to desire you as well. I know you might be, well, Keith, that's like kind of like earning it or whatnot. To a degree. However, it aligns with your beliefs and your values and who you are anyways. So we're not talking about you're doing your purpose to get value, to be desired. We're not talking about that. I'm saying as you're walking in your purpose and you're walking, and helping people and adding value and things of that nature, people are going to naturally desire you. Like, I don't know if we've talked about it in the live stream before or any of the videos, but we talked about the maybe this isn't the best time to talk about, but I'll talk about it anyways. Talk about the whole happy wife, happy life type, paradigm, right? And if you ever heard me break it down, the paradigm is we as men, right? We pour into our women when they get that love, the safety, security, all that stuff. They nurture it, and they amplify it back to us. And that nurturing back is going to be that desire, right? So if you feel desired, right, you don't do it to get desired. You're not saying I'm doing so I can. You're saying I'm doing because I love you. I want to add value to you. I want to make sure you're secure. I want to make sure you're safe. I love you. You're my wife. Get it up. Whatever, right? That's why we do it, right? But then as a result, naturally, that desire is going to come back. She's going to want to be around you. She's going to want to talk to you. She's going to want to be intimate with you. She's going to want to share your burdens. She's going to want to help you because of what you're pouring in. So that's what I'm saying about that last part, about walking on your purpose and adding value wherever you go. That's going to create a natural desire for people to have for you, a natural desire. So that's what I mean by that. So you're not working to get desired. You get desired because of the value you bring, right? The type of quality of person you are. Right? Now, moving on to now that was the last one of the tip. I'm going to give you a bonus. If you stuck with us this long, then now I'm going to give you this bonus, right? Because when we talk about the OnlyFans, right, and guys want to be desired and things like that, one would say, well, Keith, all this stuff sounds nice, man, but we're talking about romantic relationships, man. I'm married and my wife doesn't desire me, or my girlfriend or whoever, they don't desire me, man. And that's what makes me want to have Roman eyes and things of that nature. Because I feel like I do all this stuff and nothing happens, right? Okay, so this is the bonus. This is for you, right? This is for you. So when it comes to romantic relationships, first and foremost, this is very, very important. Right? Make sure you choose the right one, right? Make sure you choose the right one. Someone who can communicate, someone who you guys have shared interests, someone who has similar values, someone like that, right? Someone you could build something with, right? So you don't just get any type of, anybody, anywhere, be desperate. Don't do that, right? You got to make sure you vet the right person, right? For anyone who's single, please, we might have to have some, live streams about dating and what that looks like and how you got to make sure you're in the right place or whatnot, right? But if you're a man and you're in the right place, you're ready for a relationship, you're ready to date, or you're in one, then what you want to make sure you do, and this is a guarantee, right? If you got the right one, if you got a woman with a good head on her shoulders, she takes accountability, she's trying to do the work just like you're trying to do the work, then this is what you need to do. Make sure she is safe and secure, especially emotionally and mentally, right? Especially that. Financially as well. If you got it like that, financially as well, but specifically emotionally and mentally. You make sure she's safe in those ways. You can obviously communicating properly and things of that nature. You make sure she's safe in those ways. And I promise you right now, man, she will make you feel desired all the time. All the time. Because again, it's built into women. Like you pour into them, barring any type of trauma or issues or things like that, like some severe issues, right? Barring that, normally, generally speaking, you pour into a woman and make her feel safe and make her feel secure. She opens up like a flower, man. She's gonna pour right back into you and continue to pour into you, probably more than you can even take. But guess what it's going to do? You're going to feel desired, and then you're going to want to pour back into her. Now this cycle continues, right? So that's the bonus, right? If you really, really want that in your romantic relationship, then find out what makes your woman feel secure. Find out what makes her feel safe, especially emotionally, and mentally, make sure she's specific too, right? So you can actually do those things. And I promise you, man, you start doing that and you do it consistently, you keep showing up, forget about it, man. There's nothing she won't do for you. I mean, nothing she won't do for you, right? I mean, obviously, make sure, it's not anything that's going to violate her beliefs or values, but I'm supposing, and I'm speaking from the standpoint of you're a man of integrity and you would never have your woman, or your future woman, whoever it is, do anything that's going to violate her, right? Because that wouldn't be safe and that wouldn't be secure. So that's your bonus. That's the last thing. So with all this being said, guys, I just want to say, when it comes, again, what men want more than anything else is to be desired. That's what we want. And unfortunately, that's what these businesses prey on. That's what the strip clubs prey on. That's what OnlyFans preys on. That's what the prostitutes prey on. That's what the call girls prey on, right? They know there are these men out there who don't know their worth, that don't know their value, or don't know how to protect it, don't know how to set the boundaries, don't know how to add value. They don't know how to do that, right? And unfortunately, when they learn that, oh, shoot, he doesn't know how to do that. Oh, man, I'm going to speak life into him. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Then, unfortunately, they get taken advantage of. But you know what? Actually, I was just saying that, and I was actually going to wrap up. But let me also say this to the women. If there's any women watching this, watching the replay or watching this, I want to share some things with you as well, right? Because I already shared what we as men can do in order to help increase the opportunities for us to be desired. But women, if you want to really desire your man, right? You want to make him feel desired, make him feel like he's number one. You see your man, you see how hard he works, you see how much he sacrifices, you see how much he keeps pushing, you see how he gets up early in the morning. You see that, and you're like, man, I have a great man. My husband is phenomenal, right? There are some things that you can do. Now, granted, yes, you want to get a specific list. I'm very, 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 very big on making sure you get a specific list to know exactly what your man needs. But I will say this, without that, speak life into him. Right? Speak life into him. Encourage him. Let him know how much you appreciate him. Let him know how much you see him. Let him know how much you're attracted to him. Let him know how much you want him. Let him know those things and show him actions that back up your words, because words without actions are useless. Words without actions are absolutely useless. So whatever you're pouring into him, back that up. If you want to support him, find a way to support him. If you want them to know you appreciate him, do something to show him that you appreciate him. If you're attracted to him, initiate intimacy. Back it up with action. I'm telling you right now, I don't know many men that are going to reject that. I don't know many men that reject that. And some guys, that's enough to send them flying through a wall. If you cheerlead him and support him and love him and all those things like that, there's nothing. Honestly, I don't know if there's anything a man wouldn't do. So if you're really looking for a way to really show your man that, yeah, he is desired, do that. Speak life into him and follow up whatever you're saying. Follow it up with some type of action. Also, something else, protect his heart as well. I say, there's for men, we're leaders, providers, and protectors. And women, you guys are nurturers, amplifiers, and also protectors. Right. So if he's sharing things with you, if he's being vulnerable with you, never, ever, 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 ever throw that back in his face. If he's sharing something with you, a vulnerability that he hasn't even finished processing himself yet, but he feels safe enough with you to open up and share, never, ever use that against him in any argument, any fight, anything like those lines, right? That's not going to make him feel desired. As a matter of fact, it's going to make him feel closed off. It's going to push him away. It's going to make him feel distant. But if he starts opening up to you, I need you to treat that moment like someone just opened up Scrooge McDuck's vault and all the money started pouring out. All that gold started pouring out and it was all yours. I need you to treat it like that, because that's how precious it is. Because we as men, we don't really like opening up too much. Hasn't really necessarily been a safe space for us to really open up. So if he's opening up and he's sharing these things with you, hold that in the strictest of confidence. Let him know you appreciate his vulnerability and him sharing that with you. And let him know that I'm going to protect you. I'm going to protect your heart. I think someone said one time that, when it comes to Adam and Eve, like the rib was pulled out and the whole thing was that the rib protects the rib cage protects the heart, right? So I think it was Dr. Miles Monroe that was saying that, using that example, like a women like protect the heart of the man, right? So it's important that we do that. That's a huge thing that's going to make a man feel safe with you as well. Again, that's not our main thing, right? But if we can feel safe enough to open up and share things and you can forget it, man. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. If you got yourself a good man and you're doing these things, you're speaking life into him, you're following those words up with actual action, and he's sharing things with you, vulnerabilities that he hasn't even dealt with or processed with, and you're taking that and protecting that and empathizing with him. Oh my gosh. Forget about it. I'm giving y'all the whole game, man. I'm giving y'all the whole game. The whole game. So there you go. I'm going to wrap it up there. Guys. Listen, again, we don't hate people that, again, fall for the whole OnlyFans thing or anything like that. Don't hate them. All right. Don't talk bad about them or anything along those lines, but hopefully guide them back to this video, guide them back to those strategies we talked about, guide them back to their self-worth and their value, speak life into them, pour into them, lead them to their purpose, help them to start doing that so they can add value and get that authentic, right? Because what I'm telling you right now, you can get authentic desire. Because here's the fact. You don't have to pay for that. If you have to pay to be desired, then you're not really desired. What's desired is the money. And again, I hate to burst people's bubbles, but that's a fact. Those women on OnlyFans, they're not getting on there and stripping down and making videos and sending it to you because they want to desire you, because they want a relationship with you, because they're looking for a shirt. They're not doing that. You have to understand. It's real simple for them. I'm trying to make money, period. That's it. Dollar bill, y'all. That's it. That's all I'm trying to get. But when you have real people in your life, real people, you know your worth, you know your value, you're setting your boundaries. You got people speaking life into you, people that want to be around you. You're adding value to other people and they want you around. Your wife desires you. That's real desire. And all you had to do to get it was just to be yourself. That's it. That's all you had to do. All you do is be yourself. So I'll leave you with that. All right. But if you need help with any of these things, all right, if you're struggling with any of these things, you're struggling with your self-worth, you're struggling with, maybe you are into that stuff, right? You're into looking pornography and things of that nature. Listen, we're here to help, man. We're here to help. And we got resources and we got all types of things and building more resources. I was just working on ChatGPT today and it was like, yeah, we can build this out too. This whole build framework. I'm like, absolutely. That's freaking incredible. We'll talk about that later on down the line, but I'm just saying, like, we got the juice, right? We got the juice. What you need, whatever your issue is, whatever your problem is, I can guarantee we can solve it. We can get you to where you want to be. It takes work, but we can get you there, right? So, with all that being said, guys, y'all have a great, awesome, and blessed night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow earlier. And again, always, 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 always remember that you are not alone. Y'all take care. Have a great and blessed night.